Hey guys, welcome back. I have a kind of random day planned today. I don't have that much filming or editing, so I kind of just set aside today to complete some errands, start some food projects. I need to pick up some ingredients for my next cookbook review. I decided I'm finally gonna do the homemade vegan pantry. For the past half hour-ish, I've been paging through this, bookmarking recipes that I might want to try. I'm having trouble narrowing it down. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There's fish sticks. There's a seafood chowder. I used to flipping love clam chowder. I remember when I was in college, we would sometimes have clam chowder day at the dining hall, and I would just go hard. There's a barbecue ribs recipe, a steak recipe, lots of desserts and staples in here, so if there's anything that you want me to try in particular, leave a comment down below. I'm starting my morning. Oh, another thing I have to do today is finish my taxes, like my quarterly taxes. When you're self-employed, you need to pay quarterly estimated income tax. And I just, being an adult is just overrated, let's be real. I ran out of cold brew, so I just brewed myself a cup of hot coffee. I got new beans. These are decaf espresso beans from, I know a lot of you guys live in Boulder, so this is from the Laughing Goat on Pearl Street. Put my soy milk in here. I'm gonna grind up some of those beans and make another batch of cold brew. Speaking of soy milk, these are my soaked soybeans. I'm finally gonna try and make my own today. I've made it once before using the recipe from the homemade vegan pantry cookbook, but I'm trying a different method today because there's different versions of soy milk and I just want to experiment. English toffee stevia drops today. Let's grind some coffee beans for our cold brew. Like I said in a previous video, I'm just using a mason jar and a nut milk bag to brew my coffee. I use about 3/4 of a cup. Pour the water over it just to make sure all of the grounds are hydrated. Then I tie it off and let this chill for roughly 18 hours. And when I say chill, I don't mean chill in the fridge. I mean like let it hang out. I leave it at room temperature. You can put it in the fridge to brew, but then I think it needs a little bit more time. Cool, let's make some soy milk now. So I guess there's some debate as to whether one should soak one's soybeans. Miyoko's recipe had me take dry, unsoaked beans and kind of do a quick soak in boiling water for half an hour and then proceed with the recipe. I guess she has to skip the soaking step to make it taste less beany. I'm gonna try it with soaked beans today and just see how it goes. If any of you guys have a soy milk recipe that you swear by, let me know down below. And now I'm gonna strain the liquid out and then simmer it, and then it will be soy milk. I have a very small pan, and then I have this massive one, and then I have a Dutch oven. I don't really have anything in between. I should probably buy one. And I'm just gonna use this one because I don't want it to boil over. This is very satisfying. What is that, I don't know if it's a meme. It's not a meme, it's like just a thing you see on social media. The hardest part about being vegan is waking up early to milk the soybeans. That was somewhat of a forearm workout, but we've got actually a good amount of soy milk. You can't really see it, but it's very frothy and creamy. I'm gonna bring it to a simmer, but this stuff, the pulp from the soybeans, apparently can be used in a lot of different recipes, so I'm gonna save it. It's a very, very pleasant texture. While that simmers, I'm gonna have my breakfast. This is Rudy's cinnamon raisin bread. Oh my goodness, it is so good. I don't know how they do it, but it's so dense. Like this loaf was really heavy when I bought it. When I'm done with this, I'm gonna try and make some of my own cinnamon raisin bread. Okay, I don't know why I made only one slice. I was fooling myself. What I really like about this brand, Rudy's, as well, is that, I mean, first off, they're local. That's cool. But also, all their breads that are vegan friendly are clearly marked vegan on the back. Cannot tell you how good this stuff is. Okay, the soy milk is done. Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about it temporarily, and it developed this like skin on top. I guess the bean curd. It's way creamier than any store-bought soy milk I've ever tried. Definitely smells like soybeans though. Yeah, it's pretty beany. The texture is really nice though. I don't see myself putting this in coffee, but I could definitely cook with it. I feel like if you were using it to make a pasta sauce or a curry creamier, this would be a good option. But the search continues for a good homemade soy milk that I can, you know, put in my coffee in the morning. As for this bean curd stuff, I've seen recipes that use this to replicate the texture of like chicken skin or like turkey skin. Like you would wrap your seitan or your tofu in this stuff and crisp it up. And I've also seen this used in place of eggs. Like honestly, it does kind of look, it almost looks like the texture of an omelet or something. It's very strange. So I don't know, maybe I'll save this and see if there's something I can do with it. I just ate an ungodly amount of baby carrots and the cilantro and jalapeno hummus from Trader Joe's. I just bought this and I've gone through this much. It's probably the best hummus I've ever had. Like store-bought hummus. Obviously restaurant hummus is always the best, but this is amazing. Highly recommend. I'm still feeling kind of snacky, so I think that instead of making a proper meal for lunch, I'm just gonna have a big platter of snacks. Bought some of these crunchy okra chips. I really like okra. They're literally just dehydrated okra chips. So I'm gonna have a rice cake. I've got a leftover half avocado in here. I got this at Home Goods, I think. It has like a carbon filter in here and this kind of like a basket, and it keeps your produce, even like cut produce, super fresh and crispy, because I have just a very small basic fridge and it doesn't have crisper drawers. I'm gonna have a couple slices of cucumber as well. I've been loving snacking on these mini sweet peppers. I also have, this is another batch of sauerkraut that I made. It's a mixture of green and red cabbage. There's some carrots in there as well. I just made my next batch of sauerkraut last night. That one's just green cabbage, but I also added garlic and caraway seed. Really excited for that batch. I'm gonna let it go for a full month. Okay, and then this is super random, but a couple weeks back, Sprouts, all their frozen foods were on sale. So I bought a bunch of the Gardein stuff. I got some of the fishless fillets, and I love these. They're so good. If you used to like McDonald's fish fillets, these will hit the spot for you. But I'm just gonna air fry one of these to crisp it up. This is my very random snack platter. I just took the fishless fillet. They're very greasy, so I blotted off some of the oil, and then I just kind of crumbled it up over this lettuce with the rest of the avocado and some cherry tomatoes. Got my rice cake with my mashed avocado. Very eclectic assortment of things, but this is a pretty typical kind of lunch I'll have when I don't have leftovers and I don't have any plans to film any like recipes that day. I don't know how Gardein makes everything taste so good, but they do. I put hot sauce on this also, of course. I'm actually gonna put some of the sauerkraut on this rice cake. Today's my rest day, so I don't have any workouts planned, but I'm so sore from my leg day 2 days ago. Like, I am not walking normally. After I finish this little lunch platter, I'm gonna go sit at a coffee shop and finish my tax stuff, just because I know that if I stay here, I'll keep finding reasons to procrastinate. Like earlier, I cleaned my entire room. I mentioned in, I'm not sure which video it was, that I've just been feeling kind of low lately. And you know, with me, like my mood is very much, what's the word I'm looking for? Like depression is something that kind of ebbs and flows for me, even if nothing about my actual outside world changes. And so I've kind of just come to accept that at this point. But every time I get into sort of a low space, I always have this overwhelming urge to declutter and like just throw away everything I own and like have this empty space around me. So I just decluttered my closet before I moved here, because I didn't use any moving trucks or anything. I just fit all my stuff into my car, and anything that didn't fit, I left. So before I moved, I already had gotten rid of a lot of my clothes and such, but I keep finding more and more things that I'm not particularly in love with, that I've just been keeping for, I don't know, sentimental reasons. I just spent like an hour going through all my stuff, dumped it all out in the bed, went through item by item, and I have a nice big box to donate to Goodwill now. So I guess it wasn't time wasted necessarily, but it's definitely something I probably wouldn't have done if I weren't trying to avoid doing taxes. I'm gonna finish this and go do that, and I'll check it with you afterwards. The day got super hectic, so I stopped vlogging, but I'm going to switch over to voiceover now to show you dinner. I made falafel salad, including some homemade vegan tzatziki. So for that, I started out by peeling a cucumber, and I scooped the seeds out, and then I diced it really, really finely, sprinkle it with salt, and let it sit while I prep my other veggies so that the cucumber would shed its extra water. I usually make my own falafel. I'll have my usual recipe linked down below if you're interested, but the other day I saw this falafel mix at Trader Joe's, which is vegan and gluten-free, and I thought I'd give it a try. You literally just add water. It starts out quite runny, and then you let it sit to thicken up. And I also prepped a bunch of veggies, some zucchini, eggplant, red onion, and mushrooms. I tossed those with olive oil, some salt, some pepper, and then I set those aside and went back to my cucumbers. I had squeezed out as much of the water as possible using a nut milk bag, and then I combined this with some homemade cultured cashew cream. The stuff is so great. I have it on hand pretty much all the time now. I use it in my vegan butter, use it for vegan ranch dressing. You can use it as is for sour cream. Combine that with my cucumbers and some salt and pepper, lots of fresh dill, also crushed in a clove of fresh garlic, and squeezed in the juice of half a lemon. I had somewhere to be that evening, but I wanted to prep most of my dinner so that I wouldn't have to wait too long after getting home to eat. So about 2 hours later, got home and I immediately threw the veggies I had prepped into the oven to roast. And by this time the falafel mix had thickened up, so I rolled it into balls, which I then air fried. Finally, to assemble my salad, I added my roasted veggies over a bed of arugula and green leaf lettuce, added cherry tomatoes, Kalamata olives, some canned artichoke hearts, and a big dollop of my tzatziki and more of that cilantro jalapeno hummus I showed earlier, and of course, hot sauce. I was super happy with dinner. It was very light and healthy, but satisfying because the falafel's high in protein, and this falafel mix was very good, so I'd recommend trying it out if you've been on the fence about it, if you have a Trader Joe's near you. And that was everything I ate on this day. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!